So it's been revealed that what happened to Lil Nas 2 weeks ago was not because he was under the influence of substances, drugs, nothing. It was just purely a psychotic episode that he went through at the time. That has now been confirmed by people who have examined him. So a lot of people who assume that this was because of substances, which I also thought as well, that perhaps he took some stuff or something that he's been regularly taking and then immediately he had some kind of breakout. It's all completely wrong. It was a psychotic episode, and it is very plausible for people who don't know. And this is coming from somebody who graduated in neuroscience, for you to have a psychotic episode and still not be diagnosed with a mental disorder. It's not schizophrenia. It's not some kind of personality disorder that Lil Nas has. We're not doctors. We don't know that. But you can have a psychotic episode and just have a psychotic episode in that moment, and you actually are mentally intact, you recover, you're fine, you don't have some kind of disorder. And you can have psychotic episodes, purely because of stress that you're under, enormous amount of stress, that it can break your mind, and you can have that episode and it just remains to be an episode. It doesn't remain to be a series or a collection of episodes. It's just one episode. There are also studies that can prove that once you've had a psychotic episode, and if you do receive earlier treatment, then you actually will not have another one forever, because you receive that treatment, which could be therapy, which could be some kind of medicine, but of course I would advise therapy. And I want to really remind people that you can have a psychotic episode and it is okay. You will be fine, but that it just can't be that. I also believe that I had a very strong psychotic episode when I went through my entire scandal, and I initially addressed it, and I basically crashed out online and had this kind of episode where I was extremely overwhelmed, significant pressure and stress, emotional, very angry, more so angry than sad, or, tears of anger. And this can lead to a psychotic episode, and people will just believe that you're not having that, you're acting, that it's not real, that it's under a substance, or you're under the influence, and those are the reasons for why you're acting out. Mental health is so complicated because you don't see it. You don't feel it. You don't see the blood, you don't see the cuts and the wounds. All of it is just internal. And I definitely believe that I also had one as well. And I'm not mentally unwell. I don't have a mental illness. I was just under enormous pressure and cracked. And to crack or to crash out is absolutely fine. We're human beings. We have emotions, sad, happiness, anger, and stress, which can lead to psychotic episodes, which can lead to attempted suicide and stuff like this, which all happens under forms of stress. People really underestimate the power of stress and what it can do to you. The stress that you carry in your jaw, the stress that you carry in your shoulders, the stress that you carry in the way you think. Certain thoughts that you might have that are negative will immediately amplify to 100 more negative thoughts, and therefore you are attracting negative energy around you, and that is why you will continue to live in this kind of sad state. It's all so powerful. The mind is so powerful. And I look back at when I had this psychotic episode and when I was addressing stuff initially, and I was just like, who is this person? What is this person saying? It's not me. Like, this is like some kind of out of body experience at the time, and it just was not me. Like, the mind is so powerful, guys, and I feel like people really underestimate, especially when it comes to people that look like me and black young boys as well, black boys, black men, brown men. When it comes to, first, extremely adultified at young ages, and B, when you're having these kind of psychotic episodes, people will just immediately say it's drug related. People immediately say that, this person is just taking too much crack, or, mentally unwell. They're behind bars, throw them away, easier to discard and easier to judge, and etc., when that isn't actually the fact at all. And so I do feel really sorry for Lil Nas, and this is why from the beginning of when the story broke out, I've been very empathetic, and a lot of you guys have noticed that I've been empathetic because I can see myself through him. In regards to the way that this man is acting, it definitely is because of enormous stress, either because of public stress that we know about or ones that we don't know about. Even if that this man has tried to do things with demonic entities, and has tried to make dance on the devil, literally sells shoes with the devil, etc., does not mean that this man cannot be pulled back into a place that of good graces. Because if you believe that this man is a lost cause, then you're also believing that the devil has won, that demonic side has won, and that's not how this is meant to go. Point blank, period. That's not what you should even be believing. Because if you don't have grace and forgiveness amongst people, how do you expect to have grace? How do you expect God to have grace and forgiveness for you? Like, point blank, period. So this was just purely a psychotic episode. And, you know, his dad spoke out saying that he went to go visit him in prison, and that immediately both of them were crying. And, you know, his father was shocked to see that his son was behind bars in this state. And this is why Lil Nas came to speak out and publicly say, well, you know, I don't know what that was about. I'm so sorry, guys. Everything's okay. Because you can have psychotic episodes and it can just be a psychotic episode. That's it. You can be okay after that. You can crash out and be really upset, and it's not performative. It's not faking it for cameras. Like, it's a reality that people go through. The human mind is complex. You want people to be real on the camera, and then when they show the realness, which is anger, aggression, upset, tears and emotions, suddenly it's performative, suddenly it's fake, suddenly you're putting up for the cameras, when all of those emotions are exactly what humans feel. So why can't somebody want to share that? Unintentionally or intentionally. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's very interesting now. People are beginning to understand, and some people are beginning to apologize and whatever. But it's just a shame that when it comes to black and brown men, people just easily discard these conversations so quickly, and it does frustrate me. So I wanted to open this video with this conversation because I think it is very interesting. Now, I don't know what the hell's going on with Tamar Braxton. She herself, you know, a doctor came out basically to confirm what kind of fracture she had and that she was sleepwalking. And some people aren't buying this because they're saying, well, you know, what doctor did you pay to do this stuff? And I don't think anybody would fake a video like that. And then outside of that, she's now come online to say, you know what, I'm not coming out with my new album. Forget it. I don't need to do it. I'm gone, whatever, and etc. Basically really upset with having issues with another content creator called Funky Deniva, I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, and the fact that he feels basically cheated in this whole situation because he had a show coming out with Tamar, and Tamar didn't tell him about all of this stuff, and now he looks like a fool because when he initially spoke about the situation with Tamar, a lot of backlash came his way, and so therefore now he's expressing upset, and their relationship has gone down the drain. This whole Tamar situation is a mess, but when we are speaking of Tamar Braxton, there's always mess or drama or toxicity that is following her. Even if you watch the show Braxton Families, you can see that. And so now her putting herself in a position to say, you know what, you guys won, forget this, I'm not coming out with my album, you guys are too mean, I just feel like is the wrong response. People have just they just look at your story, they feel sorry for you, they find it to be questionable, and, you know, finding out what happened to you, and then in the week afterwards you're promoting a show and people are like, well, you know, did you go through that as a form of promotion because the timing is coincidental? That's what some people are just questioning. And I don't think that, you know, people are saying that she is a downright liar, but there is drama that does follow her, and this is why this has turned into an absolute mess, a PR mess. Funky's really upset because he's like, I don't want your publicists and PR people contacting me. If we're friends, why is your publicist contacting me? We were never friends in the first place. If your manager and people are contacting me, you should be contacting me, texting me, calling me. It shouldn't be the other way round. So this whole situation has turned into a major mess of things, and I don't think that it's going to go away for her unless she goes away and then comes back in a few months, and then everybody will just forget this. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Comment down below, give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. It's just one click to subscribe. That's all you guys have to do. It goes a long way. Subscribe. It's just one click. Send a tip if you guys wish to. I want to know what your thoughts are in the comments, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.